Welcome to the first episode of my podcast. Make sure to subscribe because on my channel I've got more stuff than just this podcast. So today and for a long time on this podcast, we're going to be talking about my top 10 Transformers for each series. So today we are doing movie Transformers, and I've separated them into groups. So first is the Autobot, then the Decepticons, and then it's mixed. So like mixing them, which one's the better out of both of them? Let's get started. So with the Autobots, Optimus Prime for sure has to be one of the best Autobots I've seen. Well, Optimus Primes I've seen. Also, probably one of the coolest ones too. He's really cool. If you were a Decepticon, you would just not want to be around him. You'd probably get sliced in half if you were a normal Decepticon. Now, if you're one of his best, yeah, you'd still probably get slain. Because remember Bone Crusher? Man, did he make a mistake by crossing Optimus Prime's path. Woo! Now, let's move on to number 2. Also, it's in order for the best to the least best. Bumblebee. Like, who doesn't love Bumblebee? He has his own movie. That is just phenomenal. I mean, who? He has his own movie. Optimus Prime doesn't have his own movie. Plus, he can kick butt. I mean, in the last night, he had a hammer. He could split apart and still come back together. He could retract weapons in vehicle mode. Let me just say, he's got to be my second favorite, which is Dinobots. Yeah, Dinobots. It's not just one or two. They're humongous. They're really cool. So, I had to put them on my list. They're probably one of the coolest and best on here. I mean, there's Scorn. I forget who the two-headed pterodactyl's name is. Then there's also Grimlock. Was it Slag or Sludge? Sorry, I have a trouble remembering those names that all begin with an S for the Dinobots. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. And I think that's it. But I mean, they were up against Optimus Prime and they were fighting him, but all of them were fighting him at once. Optimus Prime would lose. There is no way. He beat Grimlock. Yeah, wow. 4. Jetfire. Now, we all know that was really cool when he combined it with Optimus Prime near the end of the second movie, Revenge of the Fallen. Wow. He sacrificed his life for Optimus. That is a true Decepticon turned to good. I don't want to make this all about Optimus Prime's power up, but that was pretty awesome. Yeah, so the 12 Knights. Now, we all know the 12 Knights didn't really talk. You didn't see them much. But 12 giant robots with maces, swords, axes, shields, stuff that a normal knight would use, that kind of looked like a knight. They look like silver and iron, like all knights do. And one of them was red. And they all turned into one big dragon. Come on, man, that is just cool. Who doesn't like that? Even though, the dragon's basically just made out of spikes. That's kind of weird. Really weird, but whatever. Who am I to criticize? Number 6, Ironhide. Now, he was a true warrior. He was a true warrior. Also a really good weapon specialist. Come on! Those massive gums on his arms? They could blast the Decepticon's head straight off. I mean, come on, that's just cool. Yeah, and that truck. Whew. Yeah, that truck was a pretty good looking Ironhide truck. I wonder what they're gonna do for the Beast Wars. I wonder. Not from this upcoming movie, but for like in the future, if they include Ironhide, that would be cool if they just made it look like his G1 counterpart, like they do all of them. Yeah, enough talk with Ironhide. Let's move on to the medics of the team. Ratchet. He has a saw. His hand can turn into a saw. That's cool. Now I'm not. Yeah, he's not the most powerful, but he's the medic of the team. He has a saw. I mean, if he wasn't there, I'd probably say almost half of the team would be dead already by the second movie, and the other half of the team would probably be really injured. So yeah, that's what I gotta say about him. Mudflap and Skids. Now they're 8 and 9. Mudflap is 8. Skids is 9. I mean, come on. It's common sense that they're in here. They're just funny. I mean, we all remember when they were one ice cream truck. Yeah, they hated each other. They hated each other so much. I mean, come on. Oh yeah, it was funny watching them fight in the movies. Also, just to clear things up, since they're twins and they're kind of hard to tell apart, Mudflap is the red one, Skids is the green one. Also, they have two small arms that are facing towards each other when they stand side by side, and then they have two bigger. Also, the main way, if you forget their colors, is Mudflap has like ears that flop down, like these flaps, like mud flaps, except they hang down like real mud flaps do on a car. Then Skids has his mud flappy things up, like he. Yeah, I mean, there's no real way. If he doesn't have floppy ears, it's Skids. If he has floppy ears, it's Mudflap. Enough talk with them. Let's move on to Cogman. Probably the least known Transformer in history of the movies. I mean, he's not that. He is a Transformer, an ancient Transformer. He's just a human-sized robot. Yeah, he's not that special. He's pretty powerful. I mean, they didn't really. As far as I remember, they didn't really show it in the movie, but he was powerful. So, I'll see you later because I'm probably gonna post the Decepticons, which is gonna be part 2, sometime else. Later. I'm not sure exactly when, but it's gonna be posted eventually. Probably next weekend, most likely. So, yeah. Bye. See you out. The Blur with 3R Zone.